I'm Colin, this is my garage. Welcome to part 2 of my Parlor guitar build for the Great Guitar Build-Off. In this video, I'll be building the neck for the guitar, and there's a lot to go over, so let's get started. I'm using poplar to make the neck, and I've glued a strip of fur in between, just because I think it looks cool. That's the template I'm using for the headstock angle. I'm using the salt trick here, where you sprinkle some grains of salt in between each glue-up layer, and it prevents the pieces of wood from sliding when you clamp it up. Using the salt here actually caused me some trouble later though, as you'll see. I wanted the headstock to match the top of the guitar, so I'm making the headstock overlay out of some scrap left over from making the top. I'm going to use a router to transfer the shape of the headstock template onto the headstock. And to do this, I need to attach the headstock template, and I'm using the trick to do this, where you use super glue and masking tape to make your own double-sided tape. I had my phone in the wrong mode, amateur move. Anyway, here I've just finished routing the headstock.
That went okay. I had a couple mishaps. It's a little bit, the burning isn't so bad, but it chipped out a little bit here, and more importantly, it chipped out in this corner. So I have to think about what I'm going to do. I have a couple ideas. When I go and carve this neck, I think I'll be able to carve this in a little bit and go over that.
I didn't really follow any method carving this neck. I just sort of attacked the wood with a spoke shave and rasps and files until it looked and felt right.
So I had to re-glue this. I don't know if you can see the yellow glue squeeze out there. When I did the salt trick earlier, I think I put too many salt grains in each glue joint, and then the salt grains ended up actually keeping the pieces of wood separate, and the glue didn't set right. and then this just popped off when I was trying to carve it. So I re-glued it without any salt. I had to do this to 2 other layers too, actually. The salt trick really didn't work here at all. Next time I do that trick, I think I'll only use 1 or 2 grains just to locate. That's the whole point. Or I might not use it at all. I'm actually glad it happened because, you know, now it's glued properly, so. Okay, let's keep carving this. I'm carving an inward curve on the sides of the heel. I think it makes the neck look more elegant. Okay, the heel's sort of, it's rough carved now. See if I can get a sort of pointed right here. Yeah, it's coming along. I'm using the sander to shape the sides of the headstock. I originally planned to put a volute on the neck where the headstock attaches, but I've never done that before, and right here I realized I didn't know what I was doing and decided to carve it off altogether and go with a more conventional design. Here's a view of the neck after I finished carving it. Now I'll move on to installing the truss rod and the fretboard. Some of you may be wondering what's going on here with this neck, as there's no tenon or dovetail to attach it to the body. This is going to be a bolt-on neck. So to the face of the heel there, I'm going to install some threaded inserts. And then that long extension is just to give the fretboard some strength to make sure it's nice and straight going into the body. The router actually slipped a little bit and marked up the truss rod slot. In this shot I'm covering it with my hand because I'm embarrassed about it, but you'll see it later. Here I'm cutting a fretboard blank out of some scrap maple I had. It took a lot of sanding to form the radius in the fretboard. A lot of sanding. It's time to cut the frets. I'm measuring out the fret spacing using a fret calculator I have open on the tablet. Here I'm attaching tape to my fret saw to act as a depth stop. Oh. Just one down. Okay, done. It's probably the most anxiety-inducing part, for me anyway. That saw slips once and you gotta redo the whole thing. I actually did slip a couple times, but I think the scars are shallow enough I can just sand them out. So, okay, next step. There we go. I'm going to bind this fretboard so that you don't see the fret ends once the frets are in. And I was just going to cut some strips off this spare piece of scrap maple I have. But you know what? I was looking at it. And if I cut it this way, I don't know if you can see that. But there's kind of a different pattern on the edge of the maple. And that looks pretty cool. You know, compared to just basically copying and matching the grain here, I can go with this side grain. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I cut and planed the binding strips off camera. Okay, it's time to glue the fretboard on. Binding's done. And it's radiused. And glue the truss rod in, of course, too. When I do this, I'm a little bit worried that at the bottom of the channel here at the nut end, that there's not very much wood here, especially since I have this first strip, which I thought would look nice, but it reduces strength right there where the truss rod pushes against the neck. So I'm going to use a little bit of 2-part epoxy just here at the end. This part of the truss rod is not moving anyway, so that'll just kind of give a little more meat there for the truss rod to act on. And then a little bit of silicone seal just here and there along the truss rod to prevent buzzing. I'm cutting these dots out of scrap denim pine. These dots will be used for the fret markers. I actually made this cutter myself on my lathe. I was going to put it in this video, but I ran out of time. Maybe I'll post it as a bonus video. Some of you will notice the third fret marker is missing. I wasn't going to put one in originally, but I changed my mind later and put one in off camera. Okay, here's the completed neck. I still have work to do. I need to install the frets and the heel cab and do some other work, but I'm going to wait until the body is complete to do that, which will probably be the subject of the next video. See you next time.